I'm in conversation today with Mr. T.R. Anand, Chair of the Matrix Forum. This is Founders Frequency in association with TiE Bangalore chapter on indigomusic.com. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, good day to you, Adarsh, and I'm looking forward to having an engrossing chat with you. So fire away.
All right. So let's start with what roles do you think today's startups, corporates, and VCs each play to truly enable and strengthen India's deep tech ecosystem?
Okay, so there are many elements in that question because there is entrepreneurship, there are the stakeholders, and there is the arena, which is deep tech, as you have mentioned. So
Right.
I'll probably try to cover each one of these as we go ahead. Maybe entrepreneurship is first because I think for all our viewers, and especially young viewers, I want to say that the next couple of decades is going to be the decade of entrepreneurship. That means be an entrepreneur, be a job provider, not a job seeker. Why I'm saying this? Because we have large number, the largest number of youth in the world today, educated, talented, aspiring youth, and the government, public sector, private sector cannot give you jobs in that sense. See, this is a reality, and especially with a lot of technology induced transformation and disruption in our life, including, for example, the social media, and there is chats like this, there is mobile, and so many things that is happening with automation. The number of actual jobs is going to be lower from a percentage point of view, but the opportunities are very large elsewhere in a sense because of the wide variety of technology induced services, quality of life, India becoming the fourth largest GDP in the world, so on and so forth. So I think entrepreneurship, I want to cover the first point. Entrepreneurship is a great place to be in, and we at TiE Bangalore here, TiE stands for the Indus Entrepreneurs. It's a worldwide organization. For those who don't know TiE, we are present in 60 chapters around the world, 3,000 plus charter members like me, and we are all here to foster and encourage entrepreneurship. We are a not-for-profit body. So to come back to your question, what can the different stakeholders do in the entrepreneurship ecosystem? If you looked at 30 to 40 years ago, you wanted to be an entrepreneur. You were either a family businessman or you were a daring enough youth to be able to say, I want to start something and build a product, or launch a service and go to the bank and take a loan and all that kind of stuff. But today, the entire entrepreneurship, that is, do it yourself, innovate, and fuel your curiosity, has really matured into a very good ecosystem. And Bangalore, here, I'm assuming a lot of our listeners are going to be in Bangalore. Bangalore is among the top 10 innovation capitals of the world, and humming with a lot of activity in the ecosystem. And you mentioned a few of them. So what can startups look for? And startups can work in a variety of domains. When I say domains, it is basically the industry. You can be in retail, you can be in healthcare, you can be in industrial products, and so on and so forth. But you can also be in services. Services contribute 50% plus to the GDP of the economy, and the services, that whole variety, including, for example, financial services, fintech, insurance, and insurance tech. For example, fintech and insurance tech adopt technology the fastest in the world, and they are the ones that have launched a lot of entrepreneurs, which you have heard of already, right? You have Acco Insurance, Digit Insurance, you have got the entire range of Grow and a variety of companies. I mean, I'm not in favor of any one or the other, but I'm just saying a few. And not only these companies in turn have launched a lot of entrepreneurs. So Bangalore is the right place, and it is the hub of innovation. It's also the fountain of innovation. So deep tech has a lot of possibilities. So what do you want to do in deep tech? I think the key thing is, don't be a hammer looking for a nail in which you want to hit. That means you must have a use case, you must have a user idea, and then you must be able to develop that idea in not just alone in your backyard, but there are a lot of incubators. In fact, there are over 30 to 40 incubators in Bangalore. Incubators are either in educational institutions. IIM Bangalore, you've got Triple IT Bangalore, a whole lot of engineering and professional colleges. But there are also professional indicators of industry bodies like NASCOM, for example, incubator. There are also private incubators like GINSA, Derby Foundation, so on and so forth. So you can apply to an incubator. What is the other third part of the ecosystem? You mentioned VCs, but VCs come a little later. You need seed funding to begin with, and seed funding comes from what we call as angel investors. Angel investors are also very large. Bangalore is probably within the top five angel investors community in the world today. And we have a lot of people like me who worked in Silicon Valley and come back here. And I'm an angel investor from 2009 onwards. Okay. And therefore, we encourage startups. What we do is, if you like the idea, and if you like the entrepreneur, and if you like that you can persevere, 24 bar 7, you will hold on to your idea and you will work really smart. I'm not saying you will work really hard. You will work smart and you're passionate. What we look for is PNP, passion and perseverance. So you look for investment from angel investors, but there's a lot of government, Startup India, Government of Karnataka Elevate program. Up to the first 20 to 50 lakhs you can get from as grants from a variety of government institutions. So use that first, then go to the incubator. And these grants get fueled through the incubator, may not come to you directly to you. And you can access these grants, get your idea started. After that, do your what we call pre-seed round, seed round, have a mentor. So money alone is not enough. So what you're looking for is a seed investor and mentor. So who is a mentor in the ecosystem? A mentor in the ecosystem has been a successful corporate executive who has built businesses and so on, or a successful entrepreneur who have been there, done that, and all that, and therefore they can be your mentor. So identify a mentor, develop your idea. After you finish and you have your product ready, what we call a minimum viable product, go to the market, find your first customers. VCs will come in much later. So I don't think in the first 18 months you won't even, and no VC will come near you in that sense. So these are the areas. I think I've covered everything except deep tech, but I'll allow you to ask the next question.
Basically, I wanted to understand what does the Matrix Forum do and what's its role in supporting and shaping the deep tech community in India?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And it's also a great segue to what we do and what I do. So maybe a little bit of personal in a sense, because I have been a TiE charter member since 2007. That's about how many years now? 18 years or so. And I started out in the Valley as a charter member. So you can be a charter member attached to any chapter. You're free to work anywhere in the world. That's how the charter membership goes. Okay. So TiE has been at the forefront, and TiE was started by very successful Indian background folks who went to the US, primarily Silicon Valley. And Silicon Valley is full of a lot of successful Indian entrepreneurs. And that's how TiE started, the Indus entrepreneurs, as we call it, at that point of time, 1994. And then 1999, TiE Bangalore was started by Nandan Nilekani, Kiran Mazumdar, all very well-known names in India and abroad now. And I'm a charter member since 2007 and a board member of TiE Bangalore 2017 to 2025, 8 years. But coming to your question on the Matrix Forum, how do we enable this? So one of the things that we do is we discover the technology trends that happen. And I'll come to that. For example, you're very familiar with the Internet of Things, IoT, as we call it. But way back in 2012, 2013, IoT was pretty new. People said, how do you use internet? Today, of course, you have an Apple Watch, and that's obviously having a whole lot of IoT stuff, right? Which is there. Your mobile, for example, has the sensors that are there. If it's a fall, it will recognize that there's a fall. If you're walking, it will count your steps. All that is done by IoT. But IoT was very new 13 years ago. So 2014, TiE Bangalore started something called the IoT Forum. IoT Forum was to evangelize IoT and raise the quotient of IoT within the starting system. So what do we mean by raise the quotient? Raise the quotient means first identify the components of IoT. So at the front end, there are sensors. After the sensors, there is edge computing, where you compute what is happening and then pass on the information to the cloud today. At those days, cloud computing was still not there. It would pass on to a back-end computer, which will be in your central office. So IoT afforded now all the gadgets that you see today after a decade, they were all new at that point of time. A lot of it started with industrial IoT, then industrial IoT stretched to healthcare IoT, then it went on to retail, for example, retail IoT. So there's a whole lot, and the entire production system which is there. So IoT Forum enabled startups to first identify the mentors, identify seed funding, connect with enterprises because you eventually, as a startup, you want your product to be adopted and sold India wide and worldwide. For that, you need enterprises. Quantum computing, very early on, QNew Labs is a company promoted in Bangalore and by IIT Madras. They're going to be a leader in quantum computing and they were the winner in 2024. So what you see is we are working on a spectrum of areas. And how do we do it? Because all of us bring in different capabilities and experts. We are all leaders in each of our field. So this is how we maintain Bangalore as the technology and innovation hub.
All right. So let's talk about the 10th edition of the Matrix Global Summit that's happening on the 1st and 2nd of July at Nimhan's Convention Center. I think one of the things that's going to happen there is that Matrix Awards that you said, which is recognizing companies or startups that are going to like make it big in the future. I think you guys are like qualified enough to understand like what's make it big. I think we as like audience have to watch out the awards that you give so that we could probably like take a look at those companies doing well in the future. What else is happening at the Matrix Global Summit and why should one attend it?
Well, so I'll come to the second part of the question. So the Matrix Global Summit is a once a year summit that we do as a part of the what we started as the IoT forum, and I just want to complete that. So as the technologies evolved from IoT to edge computing to AR VR, that is augmented reality, virtual reality, computer vision, and so on, this becomes a matrix of technologies. So the IoT forum became IoT Matrix, and then we dropped the word IoT and became Matrix Forum and Matrix Summit. We do programs right through the year, and this is done through SIGs, which is the special interest groups. So you asked what is happening during the Matrix Summit. So in the Matrix Summit, it's a 2 day program, three parallel tracks that happen. And in each track, we cover a number of domains and a number of technologies that are there. We can't do everything. We have about 10 of them that we are active in right through the year, but we pick about 5 or 6 of them and run it through these tracks. First is aero, space, and defense. This has become extremely important. If you look at defense, for example, the private sector has played a very large role in enabling the preventive measures in Operation Sindoor and so on. For example, how do you do drones and anti-drone technology? Second track is in another hall. We will be running industrial and sustainability, Industry 5.0. So how industries have moved from robotics to and how they are incorporating several of these technologies in a sustainable fashion. So sustainability is very big today. So how are they ensuring that they are carbon neutral, etc. and on. So that's the industrial part. There is health tech innovation for all.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. T.R. Anand, the chair of the Matrix Forum at Nimans Convention Center. This Matrix Global Summit is going to happen on the 1st and 2nd of July. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing all that valuable insight and information with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Adarsh, for the opportunity. And I hope it will really benefit a few of those budding entrepreneurs that we have. Nothing pleases me more than seeing the success of young entrepreneurs. And I wish them all the best.